So Nike has done this thing where they have a lot of familiar shapes and sizes to their Nike midsoles. However, they all are a bit unique and have a lot of different properties to them. In this video, I want to give you guys a casual review of the Nike Zoom Fly Flyknit, and then I have a couple other models out here for comparative purposes. What is going on, guys? Hass here, CollectiveKicks.com. If you guys want to shop this week's top sneaker deals, as well as if you want to pick up a pair of the Zoom Fly Flyknits, they are $160. I would say they fit probably true to size, and you can buy them in the link in the description. So to be honest, this is one of those shoes that I was absolutely going to pass on. I didn't like the overall aesthetics of the shoe. I thought it looked kind of meh. It didn't look that crazy to me. And when I found out, though, that the midsole actually did something that mimicked the Zoom Vaporfly 4%, I was really interested in to see how this would perform, because this actually offered something that I was wanting Nike to experiment with anyway, and that is react with the carbon fiber plate down the middle of the shoe. When you're trying to run or even walk in these shoes, there's definitely like a spring forward motion in the shoe with every stride. I thought that would be kind of cool if they actually put that in React, because React is their other proprietary foam that they are pushing pretty hard. And I was just wondering like how it would turn out, if it would be good or bad. And so this creation takes that and also adds Flyknit to the upper. So as the box says, this is a Nike Zoom Fly Flyknit. It doesn't say the Zoom Fly 2, it just says Zoom Fly FK. So one of the things that I think has been annoying for myself, at least, from Nike is that their branding for all of these running shoes across the board are just all over the place. Like, this looks like a completely different shoe than the predecessor. Like, it really shouldn't even be called the Zoom Fly Flyknit. So the Zoom Fly in itself was made out of a completely different type of material. The Flyknit version is 100% React and the carbon fiber plate down the middle. The regular version of the Zoom Fly was actually Lunarlon with a nylon infused plate, so it wasn't carbon fiber. So it's really confusing to me why they even branded this as the Zoom Fly Flyknit. In my opinion, it's a completely new shoe. There's nothing the same. And because of that, I think a lot of people are probably missing out on the fact that this is new technology that they're introducing, as I mentioned, as they're mimicking this shoe right here. So I think that that was one of the confusing parts. So I don't have the regular Zoom Fly. I do have the Zoom Fly SP though. And you can see from the midsole and the sole of this one, they really try to mimic and mock the 4%. So that was the whole concept of this one. It was, but the SP was supposed to be like a nod to the 4%, as you can tell from the shape of the upper and everything as well on the back. It looks like more like the 4%, but it doesn't ride like the 4%. It's a Lunarlon midsole and there's no carbon fiber plate, and this is a really, really firm ride comparison to this. I mean, they're not even in the same category. If you had to rate the firmness, which I'm sure like Tiffany Beers could give you an actual rating of firmness, this is like super, super soft weight, clouds. This is not. Like, I don't know how to describe it. On the flip side, though, this shoe right here is amazingly soft. Like, this midsole that they used for this React is crazy soft. And actually, for me personally, it was to a fault, to the point where I'm actually going to return my pair, because the major problem for me on this shoe is the fact that this is such a narrow model and I have wider feet. Since this is so narrow, though, through this section, and this React material is so squishy, it just doesn't work for me. Like, I feel extremely unstable when I put these on feet. They just don't feel good. And because of that, I'm like, it's an easy pass for me, even though it has mass amounts of cushioning. So if you have wider feet, I don't know, what do you guys think about this? Leave a comment if you guys own these. Is it a problem for you or not? Obviously, I could lace them up really snug, and that would help a little bit, but it doesn't take away all of the unsteady feeling that I have on the shoe, which is interesting because this model here, which is the Vapor Street, which is 100% for casual wear, but ironically, this shoe is actually made to mimic the Vaporfly Elite, which is the ones that the dudes ran in the marathon for Breaking 2. But this is a casual version of that, and it actually has React in the midsole instead of the Zoom X. This is one of those models that has mass amounts of React in the shoe. As you can see, it's just massively huge, but there is no carbon fiber plate in here. You can see you can bend it downwards. This shoe has the carbon fiber plate, and there's no bending this shoe. It's super, super firm, which is exactly what you got with this shoe here as well, so they're not bendable. The other thing that's weird to me is the React foam is not as soft on this one as it is on this one. I don't know why, but this feels a lot more firm than this one. Regardless, my point being is this one has more React, It's a bigger stack, and it is really, really narrow as well. And while I do feel stability issues on this shoe I just felt crazy unstable in. So for me, like, this is just a no-go. Also, the aesthetics of the shoe, I know this is a hardcore running shoe, but so is the Pegasus Turbo, and this shoe to me is amazing casual as well. Like, this shoe doesn't have the appeal that the Pegasus Turbo does, in my opinion, or like pretty much any of the other shoes out here. It's just kind of like an interesting shape and just like a regular shoe, in my opinion, nothing fancy. The Pegasus 35 looks better, in my opinion, than this shoe. So just from the overall appearance of the shoe, just not one of my favorites as well. I will say I watched a few videos on YouTube of runners actually running in these and giving reviews on them. And for the people that actually run in the shoes, people seem to really love the shoe. Not very many people actually mentioned the stability issue, which was interesting to me because maybe those people just all have really narrow feet, and anybody with a wider platform of a foot, I feel like this is going to cause a lot of issues. But you can see right here, it does say Nike Zoom Fly Flyknit, in case you forget what you have. It does say full-length carbon fiber plate and Nike React cushioning. So the one thing that I have a question about, though, is the price point on this, $160. The price point on the Pegasus Turbo is $180, and this features Zoom X on the bottom, React on the top, no carbon fiber or anything like that in the middle. It's very flexible. Then you have the top tier Zoom X with the carbon fiber plate. That's $250. So it seems to me the carbon fiber is not the magic factor that makes the shoe more expensive. It definitely has to be the Zoom X technology, because this has a carbon fiber with React, and it's $160. The Epic React Flyknit, however, was $150 with no carbon fiber plate. And I don't have the stability issues like on this shoe. It's definitely a wider print and just more appealing of a shoe than this one at $160. But for $10 more, you get that carbon fiber plate. And for those that actually run and want that little spring, it's probably recommended if you don't have a wider foot. And for me, I would easily spend $180 on this shoe instead. I think aesthetically it looks amazing, as well as the overall comfort of this shoe. Especially for casual usage, this one is unmatched. Like for me this year, this is probably the most comfortable, the best shoe of the year for myself. And that is including the Element React 87. I honestly prefer this shoe casually over the Casual King, the Element React. This is like the perfect shoe to me this year. Like, I love everything that this shoe offers. So for me, I'd rather go $20 up and buy this shoe. I'm passing on this shoe from a casual perspective. I know it's supposed to mimic the feeling of the 4%, but honestly on feet, I don't notice it being the same. I can't notice the carbon fiber in this shoe as much as I do on this one. This one is like, as I mentioned 1,000 times, a rocking rocket ship. Like, you rock forward and then you just propel forward. It's just crazy how well that feels on your feet. And this one, I didn't get the same sensation as the 4% when you rock. It is still noticeable. You do feel the push off of the shoe. However, the width issue for me just was too big of a problem for me to overlook. Just a close up of the upper, you can see the Hyperfuse swoosh, and then it has a treated Flyknit through the upper, which actually looks really, really similar to this pair here for the Vapor Street, the casual version. And I gotta say, I really like this type of material. Even though it's rougher on your skin, it feels better. It just feels treated. I don't know. It feels like more durable. Also, they use the same type of lace holes on here. They don't use fly wire. The tongue is like the Vapor Street also, but it's lower cut, and I don't like it as much, honestly, because of that. The pull tab on the back is fairly similar, and the only difference is the Vapor Street has a way more exaggerated heel. So my final thoughts about the shoe: the overall concept of the shoe is everything that I love. It has a Flyknit upper. It has React with the midsole, as well as that carbon fiber plate for that extra lift off. But it just doesn't deliver for me. Like, aesthetically, it just looks terrible. It's just not a very good looking shoe, which usually if you have a really high performance shoe, you can overlook the ugliness of the shoe because the performance is there. But for me, because of how unstable these feel on feet, they're just not really something that I look forward to wearing. So these ones are going back to the store. Not going to keep these ones. I'm waiting for the next thing that has the React with the carbon fiber. But what do you guys think? Have you guys tried these on? How right or wrong am I? Again, these are just my 2 feet. Obviously, from the other reviews out there, there's really, really positive feedback on these shoes, especially for runners with narrow feet. But this is just my thoughts from a casual perspective of somebody that has wider feet than the average, apparently, because these ones are a no-go. But again, leave some comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Casual reviews on this one, and we will catch you guys for some more sneaker videos very soon. Peace, guys.